Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dustin and Michelle. We are so happy they're here. We are doing a little bit of technical difficulties here. Sorry for being a little bit late. We're still waiting for Clay as well. But thank you so much for being here. My name's Dustin, and
I'm Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, my lovely partner and co-host. You're looking lovely as ever tonight. How are you doing?
Thank you.
Hope you're doing well. And let's see. So we're here to welcome our good friend Clay Rammage tonight. I'm so excited that he's going to be here. We're waiting for him to come into the green room. So hopefully we can get him on really shortly here. Now, oh, go ahead, Michelle.
I was going to say, in the meantime, let's talk about what you've been up to, because you've been quite a bit in the last couple of days.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So I have been selling quite a bit of CDs, actually. I had listed quite a bit of my personal collection of my favorite band. They're named Ween, and they've been around for about 30 years making really great music. They're not really somebody that you're going to hear on the radio or anything like that, but they have a really loyal following, I would say. And their music is really rare, whether it's cassettes or CDs or anything like that. Anything of theirs is going to sell because of the fan base. And so I went ahead and I listed a few of, or actually all of my Ween CDs. And this morning I got a notification saying that somebody had bought 14 of them. 14 of the CDs. They're all very rare. And the total buy cost on that was nearly $500. So just no joke. They are going to sell very well. If that band, some media is not going to do so well. So I mean, keep an eye out and do some research. But some of those groups are going to get you a lot of money, which is really cool. And I see Clay now. Clay is here with us. So I just wanted to say a few things that we're so grateful that Clay is here with us. I met him about 8-9 months ago at the Goodwill bins, and I asked him if he was had a YouTube channel because he was filming, and he stopped right away and started talking to me, which I thought was really, really cool. And since then, I mean, we exchanged subscribers, whatever, and since then we've been talking, and done a couple of video collaborations at the Goodwill bins, and it is office and his home office, which I have been to actually recently, and we did a little trade and things like that. So just super grateful, wonderful guy, super generous. I'm really grateful that he's a friend and here in Minnesota with me. So we get to experience all those Minnesota non-garage sale in the winter type thing. So without further ado, let's welcome Clay.
Hi, Clay.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well.
Yes, absolutely, Clay. Thanks so much. How are you doing?
Doing well on a fine Saturday as I adjust things. Try to remember how to do things, Yeah, the joys of getting older.
Oh, yeah, we're feeling that too. So
just wait. Wait. Hey,
thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. I am especially excited to talk to you, or even just to listen to you, because I've heard such nice things about you from Dustin. And yeah,
he's a good guy.
I am really looking forward to finding out more about your business. And I watched a couple of your videos, and Dustin, you're white. So yeah, I'm gonna let Dustin take over, but just wanted to tell you I'm looking forward to learning more about you.
Oh, well, thank you. Me too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I did learn more about this New Jersey person. Or should I say Jersey person?
Cool. Yeah. So, well, Michelle, I mean, I know Clay pretty well, but do you have any other, say, basic questions? I mean, a lot of people may not be familiar with Clay and what he does. Do you have any questions that you might want to ask right away?
I actually was doing a little research, and I want to know a little bit. I like to try to see as best I can on some of my stuff. So I did see in one of your videos you mentioned there were a few things that you enjoy sourcing or thrifting. One of them was books.
Yep, love my books.
Books, we love, which I'm going to pick your brain about in a minute. I just mentioned it yesterday on our video actually, and said, so here you are. Hankies.
Hankies. If you would have asked me, 10 years ago, if I would ever get into vintage hankies, the last thing on my list that I ever would have imagined, but they sell well. I've done extremely well with them. They're usually very inexpensive to pick up, and people like them. So
that's just great. I bought a bunch of stuff at the end of the garage sale season last year, and they were really pretty beautiful vintage. Oh, the release and everything is really fine, and just the lace on it. I just love them. I fell in love with the really. Some of them are so fine that it's almost like you finger walk.
Yeah. They were many times a souvenir. People would, go travel to different destinations and they would buy the hankies as souvenirs as well. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put it into my file. So the third question, or the third thing that you mentioned that you'd like to sell is it's women's scarves.
Yeah, another strange category, and it's interesting how this started because there's an online auction site that I've been watching for like 20 years since we first came to Minnesota. They were one of the first online auction sites. And it's a local one here in Minnesota. At least it used to be local. Now it's nationwide. But at the time, they were just, a few miles from where we lived. And anyway, I watched those all the time. Well, they were having this, what they called the warehouse auction. And it was a lot of, guy stuff and stuff that I typically didn't sell. But one of the lots was for a bin full of women's scarves. And, a few of the pictures, I noticed there were some designer name scarves in there. And so I was like, nobody bid on it. So I bid on it, got the whole bin for $5. There were 32, if I remember right, 32 to 37 scarves in this bin. There was Oscar de la Renta. Most of them were vintage. And there was, I forgot what others. There was a whole bunch of high-end designer name scarves.
That hurts. And jealous.
Most of them were in excellent condition. There were some that had holes or stains on them. But for the most part, at least 20 of them were like perfect condition. And, I started selling those and they were selling almost immediately on eBay as I was listing them because, again, they were vintage. They were very nice.
Right.
And I still have some left now, but that kind of started me down that path of selling scarves. And they were selling for, in the beginning, they were $20 to $25, which the vintage hankies, the first ones I started selling were that same price range, right? So I'm like, when I'm putting 10 to 50 cents in something to be able to sell it for 20 to 25, I'll do that all day long, right?
Oh, yeah. And they're so easy to photograph, right? It's really not hard to photograph, measure them out, and you're done.
Exactly. And they're super easy to store. I put them in the I put them in the comic book sleeves or magazine sleeves with the plastic and the cardboard.
Oh.
I'm putting in there. I put them in a 9x12 envelope to ship them, and they're super easy to ship, source, and sell. So they work for me.
Yeah, you gotta love that trio. Easy to list and source, ship, all that. Yeah,
those are the ones. It's like. And that's why those are kind of the categories, hankies, scarves, and books that I can do now that I'm back to full-time work and not having to worry about finding the right box and spending 15 minutes.
Can I ask one question?
Make it. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I know Dustin's excited to talk to you too, but you had mentioned that you were selling these handkerchiefs and things like eBay. Is eBay the main platform that you sell on, and would you recommend?
Well, actually, I sell them on both. I sell both hankies and scarves on eBay, and I sell them down at the antique store. And I sell them, I would say, equally as far as quantity wise. The scarves tend to be more seasonal at the antique store. So I'll go through, especially in spring, you'll hit a certain amount of scarves, and then in the fall. But they sell all year round, but those are kind of my peak periods. The hankies tend to go around holidays. So if you can find the holiday ones like Christmas, I just sold a St. Patrick's Day one. Valentine's Day is huge. So at a hard goods store, that's where it does better, or a brick and mortar store, whatever you want to call them nowadays. Whereas on eBay, they tend to, I haven't, at least for me, seen a cycle that they go or don't go.
So Clay, for those of you, for those that don't know, you have an antique store, antique booth at the Pink Elephant in Hopkins, Minnesota.
Yep.
And so, and you also do eBay and everything. So how does having a place like that, how some people have a sell at the flea market, or like a different platform is going to sell something a little bit better than another platform. How does having like an antique booth or something like that affect the way you source? I mean, are you able to obviously, be a little more open with what you're buying because you have different places to put them?
Yeah, there's advantages to having both. And for me, the advantage was there's certain things I didn't want to ship, right? Like large, like I had a 32-inch Viking swung base that I picked up, and I didn't really want to have to ship that. I feel confident I could pack it in such a way that it wouldn't be a problem, but I didn't really want to do that. So I put it down at the Pink Elephant. And again, we have a lot of people that are looking for those when they come in the store. So I knew it would have a real good potential selling at the antique store without having to ship it. Plus, for me, that saves me having to pay commissions to eBay, and all that kind of stuff. So I actually make a little more money when I put it down at the antique store.
Sure.
Overall, per item, when you look at it that way.
So it's like your own little marketplace kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you put in your store, and it's nice.
Yep. And the other advantage to that for me was that, like, I had an antique hat mold. It's where used to stretch the hats over the mold to form them. And this was very common in the 70s for someone painted flowers all over it, right? It was really cute. But it wasn't going to be something that would go to necessarily a collector, but someone who just wanted to use it more as decor. So I put it down at the antique store. It was there for a year, no movement. So I decided to put it on eBay. I put it on eBay for more than what I had it at the antique store, and it sold within a week. And I've done that both ways. I've taken it off eBay, taken it down to the antique store, and it sells right away at the antique store. So it's just, I always liked having the flexibility of having two different platforms, if you will, to sell. Now, I did do some on Whatnot for a period of time as another platform. So I think it's good to have multiple sources of sales if you can.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Doesn't work for everybody, but.
Yeah. Also, Clay, not too long ago. So you've been a full-time reseller for how long?
I did it for 3 years. Now I'm back to part-time because I went back to work full-time. So.
Right. Yeah. I remember you saying that your old job gave you an offer that you couldn't refuse.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Yeah, it's been going good then. Okay.
Yeah, but I miss going to the bins when they open.
Yeah.
Well, like Cindy and I posted the video this morning, but Cindy and I went on Wednesday. We went at 4:30, and they take out half the bins, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was the 3 book bins, the row of shoes, and then a row of clothing, and the final row of households, and that's all that was there. And so for an hour we were there, but the great thing, I found some great books. So that's
good.
Books, but
yeah.
You had a little extra time.
Yeah, I've gone there too. At the end of the day.
Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's only like half there, unfortunately. But yeah.
Yeah, but again,
So
I found some like this book right here. It was a brand new sealed in plastic. There's 3 listed on eBay. None of them are brand new, and they range from $50 to $70.
so nice.
So I'm
So you
like,
could probably get maybe $100 for that or something then if it's new, you think?
I think the $77 one is way out of range. I think I could get between 60 and 70 for this particular one. New and package. So
what kind of advice would you give a reseller like me who doesn't know very much about books but would like to have a few little basic things that maybe make that life easier? What would you suggest?
Well, like I specifically deal in antique and vintage books. So I try to look for ones from 1970s and before, although I do some of the newer ones, but I primarily look for major titles and major authors, the classics, if you will, because those seem to sell more regularly. But then there's always those obscure oddball ones like the Happy Golfer, right? I picked it up just because, number one, it's new and sealed. Those are always worth picking up. It's kind of like, new and sealed DVDs and CDs and VHS tapes, right? So that's always an appeal. But then there's certain categories of books that are good to pick up. Like I picked up 2 books on Martin Luther. Religious books are usually very good sellers. And then this one I picked up. It's an education book. Actually, it's on child psychology. But the main reason I got it was because it had publishers. Pardon?
I might need to borrow that from you.
Oh, yeah, might be helpful. It had the publisher's receipt that they sent it to this professor for review. So it's like the first copy that they send out for reviews from, certain select authors. They always send out little promos to get input so they can put it on there for advertising, so and so. Oh, that's a great book for whatever. So that tells me it's the very first edition, very early printing of the book.
Speaking of that, Clay, so this is a question that we don't usually normally ask on our show. It's just kind of a basic one that whatever. But last time I was there, you showed me something that you found in the Goodwill bins that was just amazing. Probably one of your best finds, you were saying. Would you care to share that with us?
I don't remember what it was.
I could have sworn it was like right behind you, a book. It was a first edition, really small.
Yes. I have it hidden. In case we're ever broken into.
Oh, look at this. We're seeing the hidden goods here. All right.
So if you break in, you know where to find it. Yeah, the secret passage. So this is, whoops, I keep going the wrong direction. So this is it. It's a very first edition, first printing of The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. And I didn't, when I went there that particular day, the bins were full of antique books. I mean, every one was just overflowing. And so I was all excited. I was just throwing books in my cart, not knowing what I was really getting. And I really didn't realize what I had till I got home and started going through them more in detail. And the issue with this one, oops, I keep going the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the texture of that paper.
Yeah, the little tissue paper in there. But it's got a printing error. Instead of H.G. Wells, it's H.S. Wells. And that's how we know it was the very first printing, because they corrected it once it was realized. And so, and the other thing, speaking of that, I found the whole article that talks about this book, and I print it out, and I keep that with these items so that there's, so like I always tell my daughter, you know, if you got extra paper with it, don't throw it away or give it away. It's worth something.
Are you selling that really cool book?
No.
Good.
That's part of my personal collection.
Good.
But you know, this particular book is a, you know, $8,000 to $10,000 book that I paid $0.25 for at the bins. So,
yeah, right.
Again, it wasn't even one of those things that I knew what I had. It just happened, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes it goes like that, right? That's
Yeah.
what keeps us going.
It's like, oh yeah, finally I found it. Now it would have been even better if it was actually autographed, but no.
Oh,
Right.
no doubt. And
Yeah.
also Clay, you are really knowledgeable when it comes to like artwork and stuff. In your business office and home office, you just got this really great artwork, like original pieces too, that you've come across over the years. How did you get into all that?
Oh, it was the Goodwill bins. Well, actually, I always loved artwork. And when my first job out of high school, when I went to college, started college, and then I started working at the college bookstore in the art department where we sold all the supplies to the artists, right? As a result of that, I ran into a number of well-known artists that would come in and buy supplies from the store. So I've always kind of had this interest in art, but that's kind of what started it. And then, but what started this latest collection for me was going to the Goodwill bins. Again, right after, was one of my first finds when I started doing it full time, was there's a great big oil painting in the bins, and it was just sitting there and nobody was buying it. I picked it up. I loved it. It was original oil painting. And in those days, they'd sell you framed artwork for $2, right?
Hmm.
So I picked it up, put it in my cart, brought it home. And I had one of my subscribers who that was her passion, was just doing art research. So I had sent her the information. She sent me back this whole list of information on the artist. And, so I had more information. And eventually I sold it, but I had it hanging on my wall for a long time because it was a beautiful, still work, still life. And so I ended up selling it to her, actually, the person who helped me, for $250.
Wow.
Hmm.
And it was worth more than, I actually had it appraised. It was worth more than that. But I gave her a deal for helping me out over the years. So, but yeah, well, that was a fun one to ship.
That's awesome.
Yeah, those oil paintings aren't the easiest, are they?
No.
No.
Oh, the hardest one I had to ship was.
I haven't even attempted yet.
Oh, I had a oval mirror that was carved. It was an Italian mirror in carved wood, and it was like 2 foot by 3 foot in size, but the wood was carved, so it was like 6 inches in depth. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous mirror, and I had to ship that, and that was a challenge, but he got there fine. So
it did.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Congrats.
I'm still waiting to hear if my very first Christmas ornament made it. I told you guys I sent it out early last week.
Oh.
I should go and take a peek.
Oh
yeah.
Well, I bet it made it.
Isn't it?
It's too nerve-wracking for me. I don't think I can do those thin, gorgeous things like those trees. I don't even know.
Yeah. I always think, well, they had to have been shipped originally somehow, and they made it, right? That's how I always look at it. So I'm like, so there's a way to get them to their destination. It's just a matter of making sure you're packaging them well.
Yes.
Right.
Which is the double boxing, all sorts of extra padding and extra room in case they get scrunched. But
yeah, double boxing is pretty huge. Yeah, that really helps. But you got to figure it also, like the originals, if you can get the original foam for some of these pieces, or, like the original packaging, that's just tailor-made for it. Of course, that's always nice.
Yeah, the Department 56 houses and stuff. That's
just like
great
that.
about those. They usually come with the original packaging. So.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't really have to worry about those. For sure. Actually, Clay, another thing I'd saw in your video that you uploaded today. So everybody, make sure to check out Clay's channel. Everybody, I'm going to throw a link in here right now, actually. I saw on your video today that you had recently gone to Feed My Starving Children, like a charitable or volunteer work, which is I've actually done that too, a few times with my family. Experience. Yeah, it really is. You're there, you're helping people. Were you like doing like packaging food and stuff like that to to
Yeah,
send
I was sealing the little bags.
Okay.
So
That's really fun. Yeah, even my daughter Kaya has been with me and done that. It's
good.
just really fun thing to do. I think we're gonna have to look into doing that again soon.
Yeah, and the great thing that's actually why we went to the bins on Wednesday, because we were going there Wednesday night. Our session started at 7, so we said, "Oh, we got extra time, so we went to the bins first, and then grabbed dinner, and then over there because it's only like 10 minutes from the bins." So.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty close. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look into that, and next time my daughter's here, Michelle, if you want to. Yes, Michelle, we'll do that.
Awesome. They're booked out pretty far in advance, so
Oh, okay. So wow, you actually have to wait to volunteer. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, Bible study group, we had to wait 2 months to get in.
Wow. So, okay.
So which is good. They got plenty of.
Yeah, that's really great. Awesome.
But yeah, it's a fun experience.
Yeah, that's so cool. Last time I was at your place, Clay, actually I saw this in a video too. You showed a picture of it maybe a couple videos ago. You bought in a big box of sheet music from I can't remember exactly where. I'm sorry, but
it was an estate sale.
Estate sale, okay. Yeah. And she gave you like a really big deal on the entire box. And when I was there at your office, you were kind of going through it with me, kind of showing me the different pieces and what to sort of look out for when it comes to selecting that kind of stuff for resale, like the subject matter, especially, like what the pictures look like seemed to be the biggest thing you were saying.
Yeah. Sheet music's one of those collectibles that people mostly collect this sheet music for the graphics on the cover, because then they either use it as a, frame it and use it as artwork, because some of it is fantastic stuff, or they're specifically collecting like an artist, like all of Bing Crosby's pieces, that type of thing. So it actually sells well when you do collections of, multiple pieces of one particular, either the artist that performed it or the person who composed the original piece. Yeah. So I have stacks and stacks of sheet music again.
Cool. And I mean, speaking of that, actually, Michelle and I, we heard that you play the piano, and that's you might have a lovely grand piano right in your home there.
Yeah, got a new one.
Yeah,
you did.
It's new to me. It's not brand new, but it's newer than the one I had. But yeah,
awesome. Well, we were wondering if you might be gracious enough to play a piece of music for us.
Oh, absolutely, I would.
Oh my God, that's.
Thank you. We're really looking forward to this. We really
absolutely
are.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's what I like to play. So
great. We're so excited for this, Clay. I suppose you might need to get ready. You got that all set up here. I actually have a video that I'd like to show everybody while you're getting set up, if that's okay.
Sure. It'll just take me a minute, and I'll move the laptop in the other room so you guys can watch.
Okay, sounds good. Just give me a wave when you're ready.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. So, guys, here is this is the first video that Clay and I had done a little collaboration on it.
Learn all the time.
It was his office here.
For sure.
I just picked this up at the garage sale last week.
Okay.
And I had it in there, and I was trying to make room, and so I hung it up, and it fell. At the bottom,
no.
Didn't break the glass.
Ooh, that's at least fortunate.
And the guy said it doesn't run. Hear it ticking?
Is it? I hear it.
Yeah. Ever since I dropped it, it's been running.
Okay, well, hey. Yeah, that works.
So I fixed it. And the key to wind it's right there with the chain. What happened? The chain, I paid $5 for it. It should be like $75.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, made in USA there.
Yep. It's United Clock Company.
I'm really enjoying this day so far. There's so much cool stuff to look at. And Clay's a really fun guy. He's got lots of cool stories. All right, guys. So,
are you ready? I'm ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Thank you for that video. It was absolutely super interesting and fun. Thank you.
For sure.
The lights kind of.
What are you playing for us tonight, Clay?
My favorite. I love classical music. My favorite piece is Rachmaninoff's theme, Rhapsody on a Theme by Paganini, and so this is one of the variations within the piano concerto. So it's one I can play. Usually Rachmaninoff I can't play, but this one's simple enough I can play. All right. There we go.
Wow. Thank
wow,
you,
that was just
you.
absolutely incredible. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Clay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, no, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. No, it was a long shot, and we're so thankful that you did that for us. That was so fun. Thank you.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good. And I'm always worried about, copyright strikes, because even when you post them later, you could get them. But the great thing about classical music is typically copyright only runs like 100 years on music. If you play the really old stuff, it doesn't apply. So
The older and the crispier, the better, right?
exactly. Exactly. So
See, that is just why Dustin and I love this show and love finding out all these wonderful new things about our friends who are resellers. Just the gift you have for, the piano playing. And I was writing in the notes that it's almost like words coming out of his fingertips through the keys. And that's really what beauty of piano is to me. So thank you.
I love the piano. I'm excited. It was, the one I had before was a 1900 Kimball. It was a grand piano too, but it was so old. It was having some major issues, and it just didn't have, it wasn't worth having it fixed. Is the sad part. Even though it was an absolutely beautiful piano, it was Victorian style. Had what they call the ice cream legs on it. It was really ornate. It was a beautiful piano. But and then we found this one, which is it's the same guy that started Steinway started this particular company, but nobody's ever heard of this company, even though they're of the same quality of a Steinway. But he left Germany and came to America to start Steinway, and left his son to run this company. So,
well, it sounds beautiful. So congratulations. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Clay.
So,
Once again.
question though, do you get to practice or play in front of people, or is it, do you play at a church or with friends, or is it?
I used to do a lot more. Actually, what I used to do a lot professionally, even, but that was when I was much younger. But yeah, it's more just a hobby at this point in my life. So,
Wow.
we live in a condo, and so every Christmas we have this Christmas sing along. So we invite all the neighbors up, and we sing Christmas carols and have a good old time.
I want to do that.
Yeah. Well, when we got this new piano, I said, no, we're just going to have a regular sing along, invite the neighbors over to welcome the new piano to the neighborhood. So I'm planning that probably sometime in April. And I actually live stream those when we do those. So
you do.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Fantastic.
Well, yeah, make sure to let us know when that live stream is going to be on there.
Definitely. It's always fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, Clay, thank you so much once again. I think we're going to about wrap it up here. And we want to thank you so much again, Clay, for once again just taking the time to come on with us and share some stories and share your musical talent and just your knowledge and everything. We just really appreciate your time.
Fantastic show. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for asking. This was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to the Minnesota Resellers get together in April.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Joe and Nicole, I'd flip that, putting that all together. That's really cool. Yep. They're doing some fun things as well. So yeah, Minnesota right now, we got some fun things happening. So.
You guys are so busy with Minnesota. We're so quirky over here in the East Coast. I'm supposed to be the partiers or something. I'm from New Jersey now.
Oh. Well, we have nothing else to do in the winter around here. So,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, we spent the day, well, me virtually anyway, in her backyard. She's showing me all these like little flowers that are coming up and the moss on the rocks, and it's just like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm driving through a snowstorm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Little purple flowers, honey. He's like, oh my gosh, are those alive? I'm like, yes, they're on the mossy rock.
Yeah.
We don't even know if we have ground here.
Yeah. It's frozen tundra yet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, Clay, maybe we could have you back again sometime soon. That'd be great. Awesome. Sounds good. And yeah, so once again, we really appreciate it. And everybody head over to Clay's channel once again. I'm going to leave a link again here. Make sure to subscribe. Also head over to Michelle's channel. The show is on my channel tonight, so everybody's already here, but head over to Michelle's channel as well and make sure to subscribe to her. And yeah, everybody. Absolutely. I really hope everybody has a really excellent night. Michelle?
Yeah, I do too. And again, I'm so thankful for you sharing the gift with us, because Dustin and I just love those little things that just inspire us that we might not know about each other, others. So thanks again, and have a great night. And I'm going to go on my cozy jammies, I think. What do you think?
Right. You too.
Have a great night too. Great weekend.
You too, Clay. All right, take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.